This is the Sports Timeout Podcast with Jordan Atkins, Dr. DePoe, and your host, Wes Underwood.
It's that time again, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Timeout Podcast, brought to you by Blondie's Woodfire Wheelhouse Food Truck and Kraken Cajun Seafood House in Joplin. And find them on Facebook. Just search for Blondie's Woodfire Wheelhouse if you're in the mood for some good pizza, or Kraken Cajun Seafood House if you're looking for some fresh Cajun. And it's where we're recording from tonight. And, well, what are your thoughts on the food so far?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I got some of their jumbo shrimp. They got a jumbo shrimp special going on tonight.
Yeah. Looks fantastic.
Yeah, it is. It is. Pleasantly surprised.
And that's Tony, everybody, my co-host, joining me back again this week. And, we'll go ahead and get started. And we'll talk about the MLB World Series predictions. Series tied at 1 apiece right now. Both teams look pretty even. Have you gotten to watch any of it, Tony?
Well, you know how big of a baseball fan I am. So, no, not very much of it. But I do know one thing is I don't want the Astros winning.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I really do want the Braves to win. Former Royal Jorge Soler homered in his first at bat in the World Series, and it was pretty powerful for that game. They ended up winning that one 7-2, and then last night losing 6-2. So it's going to be a fun series to watch. I think it will go all 7.
Yeah. Well, we need next game, we need to sit down and watch it together. Maybe I can learn a thing or two.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
By next week, I can actually talk something about baseball.
And with that being said, continuing in the MLB, news came out late Wednesday that Cleveland Indians, now Guardians, but maybe not any longer, are being sued over their name. What are your thoughts on this one? They go get a new name, they support the name change, they get rid of Indians, and now they're being sued over their new name.
Just make up your mind. If you're offended by the name, or if the general public's offended by the name, change it.
Yeah.
But now they're getting sued. I don't know. There's too many Karens in this world.
I didn't see anything wrong with their logo. I mean, it's been around so long. It's just like the Washington football team. Yeah, some of the stuff they may do may be offensive. Get the fans to quit doing what they're doing.
Well, see, I don't know. The Washington football team, former Redskins, they actually their logo was actually made by somebody that happened to be native.
Yeah.
And it was approved by the tribe, and so like that one has no room to no room for them to stand on to get offended on. If the tribe approved it and they made it, I don't see any reason for it to be that big of a deal. But apparently it is.
Indeed. And, now we're going to go ahead and move into the NBA. Are the Chicago Bulls legit? I mean, they look pretty dominant so far, and I called it last week saying that I really think that my Bulls are going to do something, and they're looking really good. And Levine is sitting out right now, and you know what? They're still performing well.
Yeah. It's a little early in the season to really say for sure. Can they be dominant and be really good this year? Yeah. They definitely have the potential.
Yeah, a lot of depth indeed.
As long as they can stay healthy, play smart, all the basics, I think they'll be fine.
Speaking of healthy, what are your thoughts on LeBron right now? He's out against Oklahoma City Thunder this week, just sitting, and then in the games he's just been not playing. He's been standing in the backcourt watching whenever something doesn't go his way. What are your thoughts on that one?
Man, he's getting old. Like last year, he didn't perform as good as he did, and as he has been, and it's just one of those things called life, and eventually it hits you, and I think he's just starting to slow down. He's played a lot of basketball, a lot of professional basketball. He came out of high school, from playing 20, 30 game season to playing however many they play, which is close to 100, isn't it?
Yeah.
Games.
82, somewhere around there.
Yeah. That's a lot of basketball games.
What are your thoughts here? Do you think he stays in the league long enough to pull a Tom Brady and possibly be around long enough for his son to come up and play against him?
Well, see, the difference between Tom Brady and LeBron is LeBron Tom Brady is in a position where he can sit back. He's protected by a good old line, and he doesn't take much damage. He doesn't run the ball. His only job is really to pass it for the most part. LeBron, even though he is a leader, he can he still has to be involved in the game. His body still endures all that torture that he puts it through.
Yeah.
So it's just hard. It's, comparing apples to apples is just harder for LeBron to accomplish what Brady has in football.
Indeed. And we'll go ahead and move on here. And speaking of football, we'll move into the NFL. And Coach Tomlin of the Steelers goes off over being asked if he'd accept a college job. And I thought his answer was pretty much well said and yet kind of funny at the same time. He basically looked at them like they were idiots. And, well, rightfully so. The dude's doing well in the Steelers, and he's had great teams. The only thing he's got going for him wrong right now is keeping Big Ben. What are your thoughts on this one?
Man, I'm actually not. I don't know. I know he's won his few Super Bowls. I'm a Steelers fan myself, but I think he does a bad job of player management.
Yeah.
Like Big Ben, and then a few years ago, like with Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. I think he's bad at player management. And I don't think that's what the franchise needs. But I'm not the GM. I don't make those decisions for them.
It's true.
I think he'd be really successful.
You definitely wouldn't be here right now if you were the GM. So
that's true. No, I still give you the time of day. I still come out here and talk to you.
Okay.
But
that'd be nice. That's nice of you.
Well, just give me a GM job and I'll do it. But no, I just think I think the Steelers do need to make a drastic change. It may not be Tomlin, but they definitely need to get rid of they need to get rid of Roethlisberger for sure.
Yeah.
He's just old.
He's tradable. He's still tradable, I think. He could go help somebody offensively for a couple years.
Yeah, send him to the Jets or something.
Yeah.
The Jets give up a 6th round pick or something.
It's true. Very, very true. And next up in the NFL, we talk Washington football and, John Gruden's allegations, then Washington football team's Bruce Allen with his allegation, and then apparently the report's not going to be released and nobody's really saying anything about it. What are your thoughts here? What's going on?
Man, just like anything else, is who you know, what you know. We talked about earlier, somebody wanted Gruden's head, and they don't hate that guy obviously as much as they hate Gruden.
Yeah.
There's a lot of hypocrisy and a lot of politics that go into it, and unfortunately, that's how it is everywhere. Whether you work at Walmart, you work at a school, you work anywhere.
Yeah.
There's politics everywhere. And
no
sometimes
doubt.
you just gotta kind of fall in place.
And we'll go ahead and leave that in the past here, and probably won't touch on that much more on this podcast, but next up we're going to go ahead and touch on a touchy subject, though, as well, and that's NFL free agency deadlines next week, I believe on Tuesday, and Deshaun Watson's still out there at quarterback. People are really wanting to know where he's going to go. Is he going to stay in Houston? Is he just going to sit there and do nothing, or do you think they can flip him?
What do you mean, like flip him? Like,
do you think they can get somebody for him?
Of course. To
come in and, either replace him or fill a need that they need defensively for sure right now.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson had a great season last year.
Yeah.
It means a shame that he has to sit out, and I know the allegations that came out and whatnot, but a lot of them have been proven to not even be true. So they can definitely get somebody good out of from him. But.
Yeah, the Panthers, even though Sam Darnold looked good there for a little bit, he's on the wire right now, and then could be a possible trade candidate for Houston, and then as well as Tua for the Miami Dolphins. I don't think he's going to end up going down to Miami, but you never know. The 20 civil lawsuits against Watson is that deciding factor, though.
Yeah, and I think he needs to serve his day in court, and as untrue or true as they are, and whatever this truth come out to light, and hopefully for him, and because I like Deshaun Watson, but if any of that stuff is true, then that kind of stuff doesn't belong in the NFL.
Yeah, and big news for Kansas City is that Melvin Ingram's looking for a new home, and maybe on next Tuesday he'll have one. I mean, the Chiefs didn't really go after him early because I believe they thought that Frank Clark and Chris Jones were going to work out in that backfield, but they didn't end up doing well and thrive in it, and they moved him back up on the front of the line, and now they need some linebacker help. I mean, Nick Bolton can only do so much. The dude is a beast, but if they could get Melvin Ingram in there next week, some way, somehow, waiver wire, I don't know, whatever you do, get him in there, get someone like him, bring him in. I mean, I know Earl Thomas is out there too. Chiefs need somebody in the backfield to cover. I mean, obviously Dan Sorensen isn't doing anything. You could probably flip him down to the Dolphins right now, who need some help, and he could probably do something good down there with the youngins that he's got. But other than that, I'm not really seeing any others that really stick out towards the trade deadline.
No, and I think also the Chiefs also need a no line.
Yeah, they do.
But
they spend all that money, and yet somehow it's not working out the greatest.
Yeah, they, $500,000 choke artists. Billion, sorry, $500
million. What I really would have loved to have seen was the Chiefs going, even though they got a good center right now, the highest rookie-rated center, in Creed Humphrey. I would really love to see Travis Kelce's brother end his career in Kansas City with the guy who drafted him and with his brother. And that is Jason Kelce, guys. I would love to see that. Could you imagine the touchdown celebrations with that?
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty intense as they are. So, but yeah, I mean, that I don't like the Chiefs, but I think they do need to make a change on their defense and get an O-line. Otherwise, it's starting to slip away. By that, I'm talking about the playoffs. So, hopefully they can turn it around, and maybe, because right now it's getting kind of sad to make fun of Chiefs fans. There's not very many Cowboys fans in the area, so besides Chiefs and Cowboys, there's nobody for me to make fun of.
Well, and that being said, we now head into the 2-minute warning, and it's brought to you by 4th Street Bowl here in Joplin. Go see Will and his crew and check out the upgrades as well. We will now talk Friday Night Lights and local matchups, and first up we have Joplin quarterback Always Right. How are you, sir?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
Not too bad. Just eating some Cajun here at Crackin' Cajun. Should have invited you here.
I wish I would have came. Sounds like a good time.
It is, always is. And so we talked to you earlier in the year, and you said your goal was pretty much game by game, and that is indeed how it went. Now that you guys lock up that 2 seed, has the mindset changed in the locker room at all?
The mindset's shifted a little bit. We want to come out this first game and dominate, send a message to everybody else in our district and in the state that they don't want to come through Joplin.
Okay, yeah. I mean, we saw that a couple of years ago with Zach Westmoreland and Isaiah Davis and that group of guys, a team that you got to just kind of sit back and watch. And so you guys return home for the first game, and again, we'll be that 2 seed. And last time you played, just mentioned a little bit ago, you were a freshman, and, well, next year they got to state, and then you were a sophomore, and then last year you guys had that COVID forfeit by Rockhurst, and, well, then lose to Ray Peck the following week. Is it more personal this year?
Yeah, definitely going out last year, so I'm taking a lot of the seniors are taking everything pretty personal, so I said we're going to come out ready to fire.
All right. And you mentioned that being a senior, does that have a little bit more effect on you guys too? I mean, obviously.
I think we all understand the pressure, like it could be our last game as one unit, but I don't think anybody's really wanting to say it, but everybody knows the tension and how we don't want to just have one more game. We want to have at least a couple more games.
Yeah, indeed. And so y'all play host to Lee Summit tonight.
Yes, sir.
What do you guys want to see from the fans that you haven't seen over the past few years?
I'm a big college football fan, so I see Penn State, and I kind of want to see an all white out for a game. Kind of do that type of thing and get really loud, but that's just me.
Hey, if I'm you, I'd be pumping that on Twitter tonight.
I'm about to be.
Well, good luck to you guys, and hope you guys make it through and continue on and make it to state. It'd be great for this area again.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, no problem. Take care.
You too.
And now we bring in Carthage running back and linebacker, Mr. Luke Gall. How are you, sir?
Good. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. Pleasure is ours. And first question, how was the trip up to North Dakota State University there?
It was good. It was a long drive. I didn't complete, but it's definitely worth it. They're a really good program, and they deserve everything that they have.
That's awesome. Glad to hear that you're getting some looks up there. It's always good for four states guys to get recognized for, the stuff that they should.
Yeah, I mean, anybody that does something that other people don't see should definitely be recognized, as in, everybody's a part of the team.
Yeah, and speaking of that, you guys should be recognized. You guys had a great season, undefeated, in fact, and COC champs. How does that feel?
That feels really good. We worked really hard this year to be COC champs. We haven't been COC champs since 2016, even when we won state.
Yeah.
We weren't COC champs, so it feels good to just add it to the table 2 years in a row.
That's good, and congratulations on that. And now the playoffs begin tonight. You guys get a week off. Has the mindset changed, being it's playoff football now, or has it stayed at ease, kind of going into this bye week and extra preparation? Because, you guys don't really know who you're going to play yet. You kind of have a field of 4 teams that you're looking at here.
Yeah, the mindset... For us at Carthage, the mindset always stays the same no matter what team we're playing. So for us, it's just a week-by-week thing. And this week, we just, practiced our skills and got better at what we do. So
that's good.
It's not a big deal for us.
Awesome. And you guys grabbed that 1 seed and home field advantage for majority of the playoffs. How big was that to receive that this year?
It's definitely big. It's always big to have home field advantage. We did last year, and then especially this year without COVID, there's going to be more people there, and it'll be like a better environment.
Indeed, and speaking of environments, what's one thing you want to see from your fans next week when they come out? What are you guys wanting them to top the last couple of years of you guys being in the playoffs?
Our fans have been really great, especially in our bigger games, but out of the fans, one, if I should say pet peeves, is sometimes they're a little loud when we're on offense, but on defense, they can be as loud as they want.
Yeah. I can understand the frustration in the offense there. You definitely want to be quiet when you're reading out the plays and stuff. So, well, congratulations to you guys on a great season, and good luck to you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no problem. And in that bracket tonight, Neosho will play host to Willard as they earn the 4 seed in the bracket. So good luck to them as well. And as for Carl Junction in the Class 4 bracket, they will play host to Hillcrest tonight. So all the local teams have a home game this week except for Webb City earning that bye, as well as Carthage earning that bye. So we'll get to see them next week. And, well, Seneca with that 4 seed in the Class 3 District 6, and we'll see how that goes for them. Good luck to them down there for sure. And, well, with high school football out of the way, we will now finish out with the local sports update brought to you by Jefferson's. Come join Billy and his crew for happy hour from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. And, well, MSSU football coming up at home this weekend. It may be a cold, wet, and rainy one, don't you think?
Yeah, man. At work, it's miserable. I don't have to go outside very much when I do. It is pretty miserable. Who do they play? Do you know?
Missouri Western, I believe. Missouri Western, and that should be a good game. It's the Hall of Fame game for Missouri Southern, and it will kick off at 2 p.m. And, well, that's all I've got for weekend events. You got any fights coming up, Tony?
Yeah, actually here within 2 weeks. There's some fights going on. There's some local fighters, but they're yet to be still to be determined because they can't. Man, the fighting game is so frustrating sometimes because you can't find fighters for everybody.
Yeah.
You'll get people to say yes, but then a week later they say they can't do it. Mm-hmm. They get hurt, which sometimes they may actually get hurt, but most times they're just scared. Whatever the reasons are.
Yeah.
it's just frustrating to deal with that kind of stuff.
All right, well, it's that time again, everyone. The music is playing in the background, and it's another episode of the Sports Timeout podcast in the books, and we look forward to you guys joining us next week with our possible, hopeful special guest, former Kansas City Chiefs defensive back, may be coming on the show to talk some football with us, so stay tuned for that, and also stay safe and dry this Halloween weekend, and don't get scared by any ghosts. You might see some Slimers out there. You gonna dress up like anything, Tony?
I'll probably dress up like a hot dog again.
Hot dog, I'm doing Steve Irwin, so if you see me out there, good eye.
Who's Steve Irwin?
Crocodile Hunter.
Oh, yeah. You said the Crocodile Hunter. I would have got it right off the bat.
And on that note, catch you later, everybody. Have a great weekend.
See you guys.